Winning at sports and at sports broadcasting means changing things up.
Just like La Quinta Inns and Suites is changing up their look.
A renovated lobby that's so contemporary it even makes Golic look cool.
Yes, it does. And a totally updated fitness center that even has Wingo feeling like a workout.
I'm ripped. Plus plenty of comfortable spaces to hang out.
Yep, this La Quinta look definitely has a vibe of victory.
So you can just relax, refresh, and get ready for your next big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com. Golic and Wingo with you on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. Glad you're with us. Presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Mike Golic, Trey Wingo here. Lots to get to. We got a week from tonight the draft starts, so we're excited. We're getting into that. Right. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with some of the top draft picks and things they're saying that may help themselves. They may hurt themselves. Plus, we got the draft, the schedule release coming up tonight. We'll have that for you 8 o'clock tonight, 8 to 10 on ESPN.
We still don't know if Tom Brady's playing or not.
Well, you believe he is.
0%. I said it yesterday. Yeah. I'll say it today.
Yeah.
He's playing.
You may be right. But Adam Schefter,
may be crazy.
Well, it just may be the lunatic you're looking for. Billy Joel, Glass Houses,
there you go. You had to say that for the guys behind the glass.
They have no idea.
Clue
well, they're not even listening at this point. We could say things like broomstick.
Yeah.
Now I said broomstick and Stanzik looks up. He didn't hear any of the other stuff.
Nope.
So again, this hour of Golic and Wingo is brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Book at LQ.com and win at business. Here's what we got coming up for you. Stugotz will join us in just a few minutes. I'm always curious as to what pool he's going to dive in when he joins us. Dan Dakich from ESPN 107.5, 1070, The Fan in Indy. Naptown will join us as well in about a half an hour. And then Kirk Herbstreit, our college football analyst, as well as the newest member of our NFL draft coverage, will be joining us as he gets set for his maiden voyage there. We're really doing something cool with the draft this year. We're bringing the whole college game day experience to the draft. Right. So there'll be really two things going on. How the college side of this is being experienced by their fans and where they see what's going on as Reese Davis and the whole crew will be there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, inside the stadium, we'll be doing the NFL side with Kirk, Lewis, myself, Mel, Todd. It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be a blast. Yeah. And the Golic and Wingo bus is going to be down there as well. We're doing some shows down there.
The 1010 Collins Center, I think. Yeah,
1010. You can come out and see, check out the show, check out the bus.
The bus is what you want to check out.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to check out the bus. It's going to be a lot of fun. First time we had the bus on the road doing the show with us is we're going to start traveling around with that.
It'll be a blast, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But first, let's get to what's trending. And Playoff P is no longer with us, apparently. Paul George, part of the disappearing act for the Oklahoma City Thunder last night, as the Big Three just didn't show up as the Jazz beat them 102-95.
Game 1, the Big Three had 80 points. Game 2, last night, they had 54 and only 2 between the three of them in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so those were free throws.
Yeah, 0 for 14 from the field out of those three as Donovan Mitchell was absolutely torching Oklahoma City in the fourth quarter. He ends up with 28. Ricky Rubio has 20. Derek Favors has Rubio 22, Favors 20 as the Jazz win last night in their game against Oklahoma City. So that was, off a little bit for the Big Three, but Donovan Mitchell really, really showing what he can do. I mean, that dude driving the lane, playing, dishing, shooting, has really, really been impressive to watch play. Again, we'll see who will win Rookie of the Year, many in his corner, others in Ben Simmons' corner, but this is the playoffs, so they don't really care about that because that's a regular season award.
But there is no wrong. I mean, let's be clear. If Ben Simmons wins, you can't say, I can't believe Donovan Mitchell didn't win. And if Donovan Mitchell wins Rookie of the Year, you can't say, I can't believe Ben Simmons didn't win. What do we have? Ryan Hollins in here thinking that they should split it, be co-rookies of the year?
Rookies of the year.
That might make the most sense.
And you can't. By the way, voters can't vote for that. It all has to come out in the wash with the points for vote and stuff. They can't actually vote co-MVP.
But two very strong candidates, and we'll see what happens going forward in the playoffs with the Utah Jazz. And, of course, the Sixers play tonight in a must-win game. Kind of. Not a must-win game, but they want to see what they do in Miami against the Heat. Some NFL news, a couple of former Bears greats are going to be Bears for one more day and then retire together. That would be Matt Forte and Devin Hester, both going to sign one-day ceremonial contracts on Monday in order to retire as members of the organizations in which they were drafted.
I like when they do that.
Absolutely.
Nick Mangold's going to do the same thing for the Jets, I believe, right?
Yep.
Announce his retirement. He's going to do the one-day thing for them and retire. I think that's a cool thing, a good way to go back to where you started out and kind of back to the roots a little bit and for the team to honor those players as well. So I do think that is a very cool thing to do. I look forward to that. My daughter works out there for the social media for the Bears, so I'm sure she'll be very active with that today and be buzzing around Hallis Hall a little bit, which is a cool thing. Have those guys come back and end their career there and just kind of give that farewell.
Forte and Hester both spent 8 seasons in Chicago. The interesting discussion with Devin Hester is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
Because, look, no one did what he did better.
Right.
He has more return touchdowns than anybody else. The question then becomes, where do you grade that in terms of what qualifies for the Hall? Because for a long time, kickers were excluded. We finally had the second pure kicker going in.
Finally
in
had
Martin Anderson.
Hunter put in.
Ray Guy finally got in. Look, if you're the best at what you do at something, and by the way, that position may be changing completely with what they're thinking about doing with kickoffs and eliminating that.
We're already getting less and less kickoff returns.
So he might be the last of those guys to ever be able to do something like this.
Because a lot of times when you see great returners, you see them be great at something else, whether a wide receiver, maybe a DB as well.
Deion Sanders.
Devin Hester wasn't that great wide receiver to go along with it, all-time wide receiver to go along with it. But I'm with you. In a sport where you're asked to return kicks, if you're one of the best all time or, right there or in the area of, you start to look at rankings and stuff, then, you should be recognized if you feel he's high enough in those rankings.
And then the people say, well, are you going to do that for long snappers and holders? No, because that's not the same thing. I mean, look, long snapping is a skill. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It's great, but I would not put the best long snapper in the Hall of Fame because this is a guy who scored touchdowns.
Right.
I mean, he did it better than anybody.
You're changing field position, scoring touchdown. Yes. Yeah, without a doubt.
And you're right. It's not just the touchdowns. It's flipping the field. Sometimes that is just as important. It's an interesting discussion. I don't know how much merit it's going to get going forward.
I agree.
5 years from now when he will be available for a candidacy, but it's certainly something that they'll run up against the clock because they have that discussion again. Oh, wow, but who should go into the Hall of Fame when Devin Hester's done? Okay, good. Thank you. The Red Sox can only be stopped by the Red Sox. The seventh team in the live ball era going back to the days of 1920 because so many things are the same as they were in 1920. That's a good delineation for the live ball era. The seventh team ever to start 15-2 or better.
The last time was 2003 with the Giants. They were 15-2. It goes all the way back to 1955 when the Dodgers were 15-2. And while they've had their share of one-run wins, they've been smoking teams. Their run differential, they've outscored their opponents by 60 runs. Next closest is 38. That's a team right below them, chasing them 3 games behind them, the Toronto Blue Jays. So my quick math says 22 games.
I love your quick math,
22 runs difference there going on.
Your quick math is better than most quick math.
Well, there you go.
I want to be clear. By the way, Red Sox outfielder J.D. Martinez says it's way too early to talk about this best team. He basically says, don't at me.
Yeah.
He's like, come at me when it's July. That's when you can start having those conversations. So you know what? We'll have J.D. on in July.
There you go.
We'll see where he goes. Okay, that is what's trending. But you know who's always trending in his own special way?
Mm-hmm.
That would be Stugotz.
Always.
Yes. I just want me and Golic in my golf cart with the music blaring, drinking beers. I want to see how Wingo handles that.
Done.
Mike.
Listen, I play with the speaker on the cart, so we're good. Hashtag bonding show meeting. We'll get the company to pay for it.
Like that.
Piece of cake.
Trey, I am so proud of you. You're expensing the trip.
It's a leadership conference for us.
Stugotz destroying you. Thanks, guys.
And with that, we welcome in one more time the one and only Stugotz from the Dan Dakich Show. Stugotz. Stu, I want you to know that sometimes the greatest ideas come from total crap. And apparently,
and since your segment is usually total crap, a great idea came from it.
That's not where I was going, but it's a good point. But Stu,
listen, it's not where you were going, but I'm glad Golic went there. That is funny. Thank you, Mike.
Just so you know, I don't want to get your hopes up too much, but the whole leadership conference thing has a little momentum right now.
Okay.
So and I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But let's just say you might want to keep playing to hone your skills for our leadership conference.
Okay, I love that we're putting it under the leadership conference umbrella. This is exciting. So what's going on? Are we going to Pinehurst? Are you guys going to Pinehurst? What are we doing? Are we playing Pinehurst together?
Well, it looks like it could be leaning that way. Certainly Trey and I are. We're going to see if you're going to be involved in this. We have to jump some hurdles here. But here is what we're thinking of naming it. See what you think of this.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Golic and Wingo's off-site, all-hands, town hall leadership retreat strategy session golf tournament.
Love it.
Yep.
Are there other options, or is that like
that's the leader in the clubhouse.
Leader in the clubhouse.
Right, let me hear it again. Let me hear it again because this thing needs to sound it needs to sound official. It needs to make it sound like we're actually doing something important here when we're actually just drinking beer and playing golf. Let me hear it again.
Okay, I'll read it in a different voice. Golic and Wingo's off-site, all-hands town hall leadership retreat strategy session golf tournament.
Love it. Love it. Perfect. Now you just throw Stugotz in there and we're all good to go, man.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we have to cut the expenses somewhere.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We're working on it. We're working on it. I promise.
What do you mean cut the expenses? What do you mean cut the expenses somewhere? Here's where I feel this is going, okay? Yeah. You guys are going to, because they tweeted at me. I think they tweeted at Trey. I'm not even certain they tweeted at Mike. Did they? Did they tweet at Mike? I'm not even certain they did.
Yeah, he was in there.
Okay, he was. Here's where this thing is going. Because, Trey, you and I care about golf the most. Mike doesn't care. He cares about drinking beer. Okay? And I care about drinking beer as well. We're going to have a good time out there. But I'm saying, here's where this thing is going. Your show's going to go there. You're going to chalk it up to this leadership thing. You guys are going to play Pinehurst. You're going to leave me behind. That's where this thing is headed, right?
Well, we're hoping that's not the case. We want to be clear about that.
The big thing is going to be sponsorship, and we're really working with Chico Bail Bonds right now to possibly be that final sponsor to get you involved.
All right, well, secure that sponsor. It's a perfect sponsor for me, okay? Get that done, and I'll join you guys in Pinehurst for our leadership council. Okay?
Listen, you have to look. All the executives do this, and they come back refreshed and ready to roll. So all we're doing is following the business model that's already long been established.
There you go. That's it.
All right, I'm good with that. But we're not executives. But I'm willing to roll like an executive, Trey. I'm good. I'm good with this. Let's make this happen, okay?
We'll just say we think you're going to like the direction this goes in. So we'll follow that with, do you like the direction now the Cavs are in with LeBron coming out and predictably scoring 46 points, but only winning by 3, even up the series 1-1 before they go to Indiana? What's your comfort level of the Cavaliers now?
Totally comfortable as it relates to this round and the rest of the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not going to waver here, Mike. I think the Cavaliers are going to get to the NBA Finals. LeBron James, listen, he could do that. What he did last night, and I realized 46 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. You figure the Cavaliers win by more. They didn't. They won by 3, but they won the game. They tied the series up at 1 game apiece. I am not going to waver here. LeBron James could do that. He could do that 4 times in a best-of-7 series against any team in the East. All right, he almost beat Golden State by himself a couple of years ago when Kevin Love got hurt and Kyrie Irving got hurt. So LeBron can do this. He can get through the East. He's going to get through the East. I actually think that was a bigger game for the Pacers. If the Pacers have dreams of getting past LeBron James and the Cavaliers, they had an opportunity last night. They got back in that game. Oladipo had a shot late in that game. They had an opportunity last night to get up 2-0 on LeBron James and the Cavaliers and take that series back home, and they whiffed on that opportunity. So if anything, I think the Pacers are in bigger trouble right now than the Cavaliers. The Pacers had a chance to really, really put that series away.
Stugotz with us from the Dan Lebitard Show. Stugotz comes up right after Golic and Wingo here on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. So you are already saying LeBron, they're going to get past this series, but you don't have any concerns about them getting past Toronto or even Boston? I mean, what the Celtics have done without Gordon Hayward, without Kyrie Irving, I mean, it's been pretty remarkable.
It has been, Trey. Listen, for me with LeBron at this stage, it's really not about the Cavaliers and whether or not I think they're good. It's the other teams that are coming at the Cavaliers. And listen, I've never seen the Raptors do it. I mean, the Raptors had a great regular season, but in the postseason, they seem to struggle. Even in game 1 against the Wizards at home, they struggled a little bit. So listen, he's the best player on the court every time he steps on a court. In basketball, that means a lot when you can only play 5 at a time. And I just have a hard time seeing any of the teams in the East, including the Raptors, the Celtics without Kyrie, without Gordon Hayward. I can't see, guys, can you really see any of these teams beating LeBron James 4 times out of 7 in a playoff series? I can't see it out East. I just can't.
I have a tough time seeing it as well. Everybody says the Raptors are playing better, different this year, but that whenever they run up against Big Brother and LeBron, they lose. And that, if it holds by seed, that's what'll be the second round matchup. So we'll see. But a big game down in your neck of the woods in Miami. Miami steals one in Philadelphia. Joel Embiid looks like he may still be out for game 3 tonight. And man, the guy that turns back the hand of time every now and then is Dwayne Wade. The question is, can he do it consistently or at least another time or two, during these series to help him get the win? They got to be pumped down in Miami.
They are pumped down here in Miami, Mike. But to answer your question, no, Dwayne Wade cannot do that every single night. Dwayne Wade can summon that up every once in a while. And that's what, it's partly the reason they went out and got Dwayne Wade, and Wade wanted to come back here for those moments. Like Dan and I were talking about this right after the game. You figure Dwayne Wade can carry you for 5 minutes at this point in his career and hit a big shot at the end of the game to get you a game in the playoffs. we did not imagine that Dwayne Wade could carry his team for an entire game. That's what he did. It was an entire game. Dwayne Wade was the reason they won that game, and it was from start to finish, and had the big shot there late in the game to kind of seal it for him. So it was a really cool moment for Wade, cool moment for the organization, cool moment for Heat fans. A big game tonight, 7 o'clock down here at the American Airlines Arena with the series tied at 1 game apiece. Guys, I'm more interested in what's going on with Joel Embiid. Mike, I will ask you, Joel Embiid, he has cleared concussion protocol. He wants to play. He went on Instagram, said, I'm ready to go. Mike, what do? You've trusted the process for this long. Do you ask Philadelphia fans to trust you one more time here? Or if you're the Sixers, do you say, hey, you know what? He's got the entire offseason to rest. What do you do with Embiid here, Mike? Because the competitor in him wants to get out there and play tonight and help his team win.
Well, first and foremost, you clear concussion protocol, as you said. I don't know where he is as far as cleared from the doctors from the orbital surgery that he had. And that's first and foremost. If you're not cleared medically, then there's no discussion at all. If you are cleared medically, then, it comes down to, does the coach want to put you out there now? Because the worst thing you can do, Stu, is ask a player. Because I won't say all players, but 99% of the players,
want to play.
Even if they're not cleared, are going to say, put me out there. I want to play. And let's be honest, there have been players that probably haven't been cleared that have gotten themselves back out on the ice, the field, the court, whatever. So, he wants to play. And, we just had Carlos Boozer in here, and there was part of him that thought, sit him another game and see if they go down 2-1 to Miami, and then you got to bring them back. But what if the 76ers win 2-1? Then you have a little more room to possibly play with, keeping them rested and healing that eye up.
Mike, that's funny. That's interesting because after game 1, we weren't talking about Embiid. We were talking about, hey, the Sixers actually match up better with the Heat because Whiteside doesn't play as much when Embiid is not there, right? And then game 2, they lose, and it's all right, we got to get Embiid back. So that's a great point. They win tonight without Joel Embiid, and I don't think we'll be talking about whether or not Embiid should come back in game 4. I don't know. It just feels like, Mike, even if that scenario plays out, where Embiid doesn't play tonight, you see how tonight goes. Let's say the Sixers lose that game. Even with Embiid back, who hasn't played in a while, so he's coming off injury, and, we'll see how that works, just inserting him right back into the lineup in terms of how effective he's going to be. But you're still a road loss away from going down 3-1 in that scenario, and that's a dangerous scenario for the Sixers. I try to get him back in there tonight if they can at all costs.
Listen, this is the most pressure-packed game for this franchise in about 5 years, so we'll see how they respond on the road, tie at 1. Stugotz with us from the Dan Lebertar Show with Stugotz, and we're in that sweet spot right now, Stugotz, in the NFL offseason. We got the NFL schedule released tonight, 8 to 10 on ESPN. I know you'll be watching.
Yes.
And then a week from tonight, it's the draft. How anxious are you right now, a week from tonight, knowing, as you believe, that the Jets will pick the wrong quarterback?
I'm pretty anxious. I don't know. And you know what, Trey? I take that back. I am anxious just because I love the draft, and it can't get here soon enough, and I can't wait to watch your coverage of the draft, Trey. But you know what? I'm actually at peace. I'm calm because you know what? When you're a Jet fan, and you've been a Jet fan for as long as I've been, there's only upside. I'm calm. I'm relaxed heading into this draft because I know what the Jets are going to do. They're going to botch it. And anything other than them botching it is going to be a good day for me. So, the ceiling is, the ceiling is just the guy being average, right? That, to me, that'd be great. The quarterback they take just turns out to have, a decent 10-year career. I've lived in the basement my entire life as a Jet fan. So for me, I'm just headed into this relaxed, at ease, at peace, knowing the Jets will botch this. And if they happen to get lucky and take the right quarterback, then so be it. It'll be a great day and a great week for me.
Honestly, that makes a great point. What could possibly go wrong from his... You're welcome.
Right.
What could possibly
go
wrong?
Worse?
Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
How can it get worse?
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
All right. So as we try and figure out this leadership conference that we're going to do, let me ask you this. Because our buddy Darius Rucker chimed in, said he likes leadership conferences as well. So if I say right now, if there is the 5 of us, let's just you, me, Trey, my son Mike, and Darius, would you be the best golfer of all of us? Who are you a good golfer?
I know I'm better than you, Mike. I know I'm better than Junior. I have a feeling I'm better than Junior. I haven't seen Darius play. Mike, you could probably tell me if Darius is any good. My concern is Trey. That's my concern here.
Well,
Trey is...
Here's where you shouldn't be concerned. It's sleeting here today.
Yeah.
I like your chances to be better shape golf-wise than I will be here.
I mean, I played 18 yesterday, Trey. I'll probably play 18 more today. So that's a good point. But Trey, what's your handicap? Because you're the guy I'm concerned about the most. What is the handicap?
Well, my handicap index, I think, is like an 8.4, which means I'm at 10 or 11, something like that. Depending on the
so
course.
I'm like a 20, so you'll spot me some strokes. By the way, I did this with Greedy one time where I told him it was a 20, then he realized very quickly I was like a 10.
You're a sandbagger. You're a sandbagger.
Yes,
I don't
expect nothing less.
And I don't know what Darius is. He's a good golfer, but I don't know the actual
number. Darius is rich.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's
what
nothing to do with the golf, but,
Separate issue.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so Stu, we're going to get you prepared. As we say goodbye, we just want to give you the other sweet sound that we like.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
One more time.
Little golf.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Working on the leadership conference.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it, guys. And by the way, I got to call out Golic on something. He was getting on Baker Mayfield for having a lunch with the Arizona Cardinals.
No, San Diego Chargers.
Or the L.A. Chargers.
L.A. Chargers.
My apologies. That's a fine on both of us. That's a fine for me, Mike. That's a fine for you as well.
Deal.
Okay, the L.A. Chargers. I love the fact that he didn't study the playbook or didn't really care about the plays. And, Mike, I heard you blasting him saying, why take the lunch? Mike Golic, are you telling me you're passing up a free lunch?
Is that
what
fair?
You're telling me, Mike Golic?
That is fair. Yeah.
Because if I'm Baker Mayfield, I am taking all the free lunches I can get. I don't care. Get out of here, Mike.
I would take the free lunch, but I would also know that I'm on a job interview and I'd be professional in that job interview is what I would do. Do I think it'll affect his draft status? No, I don't. But you know what? To me, Bush League thing to do. It's a Bush League thing to do. That's just my opinion. When he sits there and says, I have to prioritize and I have a lot of things on my plate, my question is, what the hell do you have on your plate? You're getting ready for the NFL draft by doing a bunch of auditions and interviews. That's what's on your plate outside of the lunch and whatever you're eating on your plate. So it just rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Will not affect his draft status at all. But you know what? Something I didn't need to hear.
Mike, you know what? Listen, I figured you would be proud of him. He knows he's not going to that team. He's not playing for that team, and he figured out a way to weasel a free lunch out of that team. That's a good job.
That's a good way to look at it.
But it's a good job by Baker Mayfield, man. It really is. Give him some credit, Mike.
I think we should end on this. That proves that the Stugotz is indeed strong.
That is true.
Yes,
that is true.
Yes, and that's why I want the New York Jets to take that guy, a guy who doesn't study plays and just wants free meals.
Give me the free lunch. All right, Stu. We'll listen to you today after we're done on the Dan Lebatard Show, Stugotz.
That's funny.
All right, guys, get this done. Listen, just get Pinehurst on. Tell me when to be there. I'll be there. We'll tee you off. We'll have a great time.
Hashtag leadership conference.
There you go.
Stugotz, always a pleasure with us this morning on Golic and Wingo. Oh, he's the best.
Hey everyone, Mike Golic here. Support for the Golic Wingo podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. With Rocket Mortgage, you can apply simply and understand fully so you can mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Decking, railing, lighting, furniture, fencing, framing. At Trex, we make the most in outdoor living because you deserve to get more from your life outdoors. So why not start bringing your ideas to life now with the brand that's engineering what's next? To learn more about all of the outdoor solutions Trex has to offer, or to find a local retailer or a certified Trex Pro deck builder near you, visit Trex.com. That's TREX.com.
All right, Golic and Wingo with you, on ESPN Radio and ESPN News. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. We are in the midst of the NBA playoffs, and the Pacers, of course, lost last night, but they still have to feel pretty good about the split. And for more on that, we'll go to Dan Dakich, 107.5 and 1070 The Fan, and Indy joins us now on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Taking synthetic motor oil performance to a whole new level. Make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics today. Okay, Dan, Cavs fans are like, whew, thank goodness we got a win. What are Pacer fans feeling right now after a game where they actually were down big but had a chance to walk out of there with a 2-0 lead, both of those being on the road?
I think pretty good. You know, Mark Boyle, who is really respected here, he's the team's announcer, put it out last night. He said, you got to feel good because you're on the road, you won one, and it took a Herculean effort by James, particularly in the first, 6 minutes of the game, to beat you. So I think pretty good. Trey, truth is most Pacer fans feel like the Pacers are the better team. I mean, and but you got to play better, and you got to beat LeBron in the fourth quarter, man. I mean, you can beat him once, you can play him well a second time at home, at least for the last, 3 quarters. But at the end of the day, you got to beat the guy 3 more times in the fourth quarter. And I think although Pacer fans feel good, I was reading my emails before I came on. There's still the same thing I've been saying, but you got to beat him in the fourth, man, and that is not easy. Yeah,
I know. When you and I were tweeting in Game 1, I think there was one of the last things you tweeted was you got to beat him in the fourth, and they were able to do that in Game 1. But last night, not so much. And the Pacer fans, and I would imagine rightfully so, say, hey, we don't get enough respect from the national media. They only had one nationally televised game. So for those out there that may not know, because I agree, I think overall team-wise, the Pacers are a better team. How good is this team compared to the rest of the East?
Mike, they're everyday guys. You know what I mean? Like, they're a really good team. Are they as talented as everybody? No, probably not. But, man, I keep talking about this. Getting rid of Paul George. With Paul George, there was always drama. It didn't matter. There was always I against them, his own team. It was always drama. Well, Oladipo comes in, it's like a college team. It really is. And you saw yesterday, man, LeBron is killing them. They can't get the ball across half court to start the game. Oladipo picks up 2 fouls, but they just keep playing. And that's exactly what they do, Mike. They just keep playing. Now, Nate McMillan, I don't know what he was thinking early in the game, starting Thaddeus Young on LeBron. I mean, LeBron, we got to rethink that one because I don't care what kind of team you are. You put the wrong guy in LeBron, you saw what happened, 16 straight. But, Mike, they're a fun team. They're a good team. They play basketball the way people that like basketball like to see play. And they're everyday guys. They don't take games off. And you know what? Oladipo's captured the city, man, because he's been very vocal about, I wanted to come here. This is my town. I'm going to represent it right. Indiana fans embraced me when I was at IU. I know how much they love basketball. I want to represent it. It's been a great, great thing here. So different from the last 2 years where, quite frankly, people couldn't watch. People didn't go.
All right, so let me take it to the next step from the Pacers side of it. Everything you did to explain the Pacers sounds good, but when you talk about an NBA championship team, that doesn't sound like that. So if they're to get to that point, and everybody wants to have a championship team, are they a team, A, that can get a big-time free agent to come there, and B, if not, how can they what's the next step for them to make this a team to contend in the East and then contend for the title?
Yeah, are they a championship team? They have a bad matchup. Like, I think they're as good as anybody in the East right now, except for the matchup with Toronto. Now, moving forward, you got to do what they did back in the early 2000 when they got to the NBA Finals. They kept their star there. They kept Reggie Miller in Indiana. So let's just take that as Oladipo. And as they continue to draft, they drafted guys that maybe Dale Davis, Antonio Davis, where they had to send him overseas for a year. Big, strong, athletic, smart guys. And I think now, Mike, moving forward with Oladipo, I think that they've got their Reggie Miller in place, which is the hardest thing to do. But you got to add. And will free agents come here? I've always gotten a kick out of that. People say no, and I say, all right, well, the number one star in football played here, Peyton Manning. It didn't seem to hurt his endorsements. And take Peyton Manning as opposed to a guy like Patrick Ewing playing in New York. I don't know. It seemed like Peyton Manning did pretty good in terms of national endorsements. But Mike, I've been to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is a nice town. It's fine. I've been to Milwaukee. I mean, most of these NBA towns, when you take out L.A., I don't know, San Francisco, maybe Dallas. I mean, Indy's right there with all of them. So they have some money. They have the star, the guy that's embraced the place. So I think you can continue to build it, Mike. But for this year, because Hayward's out, because Kyrie Irving's out in the East, they got bad matchup with Toronto, but there's nobody else that I think the Pacers go, oh, man, that's tough on us.
Dan Dakich with us from ESPN 1070 The Fan, former Indiana player, Indiana coach. And by the way, just not that you are lacking for confidence in any way, shape, or form, but I just want to put it out there. The date was 9:23 at night, November 1st, 2017. Dan Dakich tweet, quote, Pacers stole Oladipo and Sabonis from OKC. Tip of the cap to you, sir.
Well, as you said, I knew the date. But anyway, no, when I looked at it and I saw Oladipo average 17 playing with Russell Westbrook, and I knew Oladipo. I covered the Big Ten. I'm at Indiana a lot, so I know Oladipo's work and how good a guy he was. And let's be honest, you were inside locker rooms. I mean, there's a lot of talented guys. I mean, there's a lot of guys, but what separates them is two things. Number one, how hard are they going to work? And number two, how tough is their mind? Are they going to wilt? And Vic's not the biggest guy, but he is among the most athletic, and he's tough as hell. But when I saw he averaged 17 playing with Russell Westbrook, that's a lot, playing with a guy like Westbrook, who obviously dominates the ball and is such a dominating personality. I thought he could average 23, and I knew getting rid of Paul George, we just weren't going to have the drama here. And here's the other thing. Now, Indiana fans will tell you this. Paul George went 0 for 18. 0 for 18 in his career, shooting the ball under a minute to go, up one, down one, or tied. Never made a game-winning shot. Indiana fans will tell you the only time he's made a game-winning shot is in a Gatorade commercial where they put him in a situation where he made a game-winning shot. Oladipo comes in, he's made 6 in 1 year. So that's big in the playoffs, man, and that's who Vic is.
Ending on this, watching that game last night, seeing LeBron do what he did in the beginning of that game. Dan, you've been around basketball a long, long time. You're a really old guy who's seen a lot of basketball.
Wait a minute. Are you insulting him or congratulating him? I'm not sure.
I was trying to be funny, mean to him, but just seeing what he did in this year where he played all 82 games, 15th year in the league, I mean, are there any more new adjectives to how good he is as a player?
Hey, first off, I graduated college in 1985. When did you graduate, big boy?
1985. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
By the way, that makes 3.
Yeah.
Hey, I'd add MVP to it. I think he's the MVP of the league, Mike. I get that we're, back when Jordan was rolling, we had to give it to Karl Malone or whatever you had to do occasionally. But to me, this year, LeBron James, by every standard. I mean, look at what he's playing with. I mean, again, J.R. Smith pretty good last night. Korver might be as old as us, Mike. Look what he's playing with. Look what he's doing. Look at the numbers. I would add MVP 2018 and move on. I would add that to his resume because I think he is.
Dan, you are preaching to the choir here. Yep. I mean, James Harden went 2 of 18 and the Rockets still won by 20. Imagine what the score would have been last night.
Hey,
LeBron went 2 of 18.
James Harden can't guard me. I'm 55, fat and bald. James Harden worse yet, James Harden can't guard Golic. Hey, I saw him play in a celebrity game.
Oh,
James Harden, my backside.
Oh, all right.
Well, there you go.
So I guess we don't need to ask the question, hey, how do you feel about James Harden?
No, I think we answered that.
I think that one's covered.
That's and answered.
All right, Dan, we appreciate it. We'll see what happens in Game 3 in Naptown. Appreciate you being with us.
Thanks, Dan.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
He's clearly not doing any plant flagging on James Harden.
No, he's not. Or flag planting. I know.
Well, at least we know where he stands, and I think that's important to know in life about people that you surround yourself with.
Love scoring amazing hotel deals? Then you've got to get the Hotel Tonight app. Forget scrolling through never-ending lists of hotels. Hotel Tonight shows you a select list of incredible deals at hotels you actually want to stay at. And even though the name's Hotel Tonight, you can book up to 100 days in advance in top destinations and up to a week in advance everywhere else. Want to get those deals? Yeah, you do. Download the Hotel Tonight app now.
Let's go, 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 White Sox!
Devin, explain to us again why you decided to become a White Sox fan.
Great farm system.
Because of their farm system.
Yeah.
And you gave us the name of one player. What was that guy?
Eloy Jimenez. What position? He's a pitcher. Live arm.
Yes, Brett, what do you have for us?
Eloy Jimenez is an outfielder.
He didn't even know what position he was.
Chicago is proud of you.
Oh, we have got an update. Golic and Wingo reminding you that we will be on the road for the NFL Draft. Brought to you by State Farm. Go with the one that's here to help life go right. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Let me just say this as we continue. That may be the greatest TV theme song of all time.
That is a great
I'm not sure. Like, you can debate whether the Wire or something has more significance, but nothing is happier, peppier, snappier, more soulful than the Jeffersons theme song.
Moving on up. And we just didn't play it because it's a catchy tune.
Which would have been justification enough.
We played it for a reason.
Yes.
Bubble Boy, would you like to explain? Devin again has decided to
become a White Sox fan.
Become a White Sox fan for the reason of, again, explain to people who may not know.
Great farm system.
Great farm system. Yeah. So much so that you named a person in that farm system but got their position wrong.
That would be Eloy Jimenez.
Eloy Jimenez, you said he was a pitcher.
With a live arm.
Yeah.
Still has a live arm,
but he's an outfielder.
He's an outfielder. Yeah. But why did we play that song, Moving On Up?
He is going to Double-A, baby.
There you go.
Yeah.
And remember,
moving on up.
The White Sox saw how passionate Devin was and incorrect he was about Eloy Jimenez, so they sent in a video of Eloy saying, "Hey, thank you, Devin, but I appreciate it. Yep. However, we need you to know that I'm not a pitcher, I'm an outfielder." And now he's moving up to Double-A.
He's moving up. So, Devin, I'm sure you're a fan and you know. Just rattle off his stats to us on why he moved up to Double-A.
Well, he's coming off a pectoral injury, so he was on the 7-day DL. So he's not going to toil in a single-A. He's the fourth prospect in all of Major League Baseball. He's going to Double-A.
Okay.
Double-A. By the way, their Double-A team. That's solid work by you.
That is solid work by you.
Is any of that true?
It's all true.
Okay,
really?
Good. Well, or he made it up.
Or
he made
nice
it up.
job, Devin.
So really, he has a pectoral issue, and he's doing he's the fourth greatest out prospect?
Fourth highest rated prospect. Yeah,
I've got more.
Yeah. You got more?
Oh yeah.
Bubble Boy's got more. What do you got?
43 in his 4 minor league seasons so far. He's 21 years old.
Yeah.
43 home runs.
Yeah.
So
not 43 home runs?
Yeah, and there's 4.
He's 21 and 4 years in the minors.
Yes.
So he is ready to be moving on.
Oh yeah.
Well, and where he's moving up is somewhat significant.
Yes, it is.
Because their Double-A team is in Birmingham. And we all know the greatest Double-A Birmingham Baron of all time.
And let's hope this guy is way better.
Correct.
Yeah.
Would be Michael Jeffrey Jordan. That's where Jordan toiled for a year and a half and had
toiled being the key word.
That is the operative word. But I will say this about Jordan when he went down to the minors. He bought that bus, and everybody on the Birmingham Barons was the beneficiary of Michael Jordan being there.
Kind of like how all the golfers have benefited from Tiger Woods' era.
Correct.
Everybody on that team benefited
dragging
from
those coattails.
Yeah. Because Jordan was like, "Wait a minute, you guys are riding on what?
Yeah.
Wait, we're doing what?
No.
That's not what's happening.
That's a hard pass for me." Michael Jordan said.
Put a quick call in. Hey, Phil, being Phil Knight. Yeah. Hey, let's spruce this up a little bit.
Here's what's going to happen. You're going to buy me a bus, and we're going to use it to ship around. I bet you the Birmingham Barons still probably have that same bus.
You would think so.
I mean, you hold on to that one as long as you can. So the question now becomes, how long do we think Eloy Jimenez is going to be a Birmingham Baron?
Well, it sounds like the injury, we got to get through that. The pectoral issue, that's going to be an issue. So work through that. And you, Devin, you believe for sure you think he'll be up this year?
He's ready. He said that, he thinks he's ready to go.
Ready to go as far as play from the pectoral or be up in the bigs?
I think he thinks he's ready to be up in the bigs. Obviously, he's got to prove it.
Well, I mean, anybody who, you got a good mental state, you think you can be up there.
Right. Well, here's the interesting thing, too, is, Eloy has had the whole Chicago experience covered. He came over from the Cubs last summer. He hit 8 homers in 42 games with Class A Myrtle Beach. He then hit 8 more homers with Class A Winston-Salem. And 3 in 18 games with Birmingham. So this is a guy who clearly, wherever he's been, he's proven he can hit. And the other thing we're going to do, when Eloy does get called up to the bigs, we're sending Bubble Boy there.
Bubble Boy will be there at his first game.
He will be our roving correspondent. Yeah. Now, we can only hope we get the magic like Levitard and Stugotz got on the first pitch of the baseball season for the Marlins.
The first pitch
By the way,
run?
you know what's going to happen now because we're doing this. Levitard's going to, you stole our baseball bit.
Yeah, I know.
It's like they invented everything.
Yeah, I know. We'll get yelled at for it.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We come on the air first. Yeah. that's all that matters.
Eloy, congrats. Moving on.
We're excited about
yes,
Eloy. White Sox are 4-11, losers of 4 in a row and 9 of their last 10. So, Eloy, you could be moving on up closer than you think. Coming up, what we got for you, a tweak by the NFL is going to make a world of difference, especially if you do a morning show on television or radio. We'll explain and just enjoy the sounds of the Jeffersons.
Ryan! I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just say it.
What is it, Linda?
I think we should see other people.
Are you breaking up with me? On a roller coaster?
Well, we do have a lot of fun. Maybe we should stay together.
An emotional roller coaster? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I just need a little me time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Winning at sports and at sports broadcasting means changing things up.
Just like La Quinta Inns and Suites is changing up their look.
A renovated lobby that's so contemporary it even makes Golic look cool.
Yes, it does. And a totally updated fitness center that even has Wingo feeling like a workout.
I'm ripped. Plus plenty of comfortable spaces to hang out.
Yep, this La Quinta look definitely has a vibe of victory.
So you can just relax, refresh, and get ready for your next big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
A full bore from the start. That's the LeBron I think you're going to see coming out.
LeBron, right wing three is good, a deep one. He's got all 16 for Cleveland, and it's 16-1.
I don't come into games saying I'm going to try to do this, I'm going to do that. It just kind of happens to flow of the game. I play the game the right way, and that's just the result of it. So.
LeBron, pull-up jumper, 42 for LeBron James tonight.
It's a make-or-miss league. The Cavs are making, the Pacers are missing.
Golic and Wingo with you on ESPN Radio and ESPN News on a Thursday morning. Glad you're with us. Presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests will join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Lots to get to. We got the schedule release coming up tonight in the NFL. 8 to 10. Hope you're with us for ESPN. And we'll go through every single game and where everybody will play. Looking forward to that, and we are a week away from the draft. Reminding you that Golic and Wingo will be in Dallas for the draft Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so I'm looking forward to that. Big rollout of the bus.
Oh, can't wait for that. Have the bus down there doing some shows, hanging out in Dallas. Looking forward to that. Already trying to find my Orange Theory where I'm going to be working out.
There you go.
Keep the workouts going.
Listen, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because you used to be just lard, and now you're ripped.
Did you say large or lard?
Whichever one makes you feel more comfortable.
Okay.
Which one?
Neither one, really, but that's okay.
If you had to pick.
Not like you care.
I do care.
Uh-huh.
I want to make sure.
Sounds like it, because I'm pretty sure I heard lard.
Did I say lard or large there?
Lard.
What do you think?
With a
what's
D.
The verdict? Brett, what's the verdict?
That was definitely lard with a D.
Yeah, it was lard with a D.
That's what
Brett's, and Brett's a guy that's probably heard that occasionally.
Or
I'm sorry. Wait, did I say that out loud?
Or it could have been large.
Big guys holding it down for each other.
There you go. He put the size in seismology.
There you go.
That's who he is.
Uh-huh.
So we're looking forward to that. We'll see what's going on. There's a lot to discuss about some of the draft picks and some of the choices they're making, including Baker Mayfield in a Monday Morning Quarterback article. We'll get to that a little bit later. And Kirk Herbstreit will join us in just about 30 minutes. As we get closer and closer to the draft. Herbie will be with us day one, Thursday night. We're looking forward to that. Meanwhile, we got baseball news, Mike. The Cincinnati Reds announced on Thursday they have fired manager Brian Price, who is in the midst of his 5th season with the club. They started 3-15.
Yeah.
9 games behind the Central leading Pirates. Overall, Price's record with the Reds, 279, 387. Since becoming the Reds manager in 2014, he never coached the team to 500 or better. The Reds lost 90 games or more in 3 of his seasons and seem to be well on pace to do that again this year.
You know, if you ever want to know how the Reds are doing, he's coming up at 9:30 here in about a half hour. Kirk Herbstreit is a huge Reds fan, and you can the highs and the lows, and unfortunately, it's been a lot of lows. He puts them out there on Twitter. He's a big time Reds fan, and not real happy, as no Red fans are, I'm sure, with what's going on there right now.
It's kind of a shame because opening day used to be the big thing. They
yes.
still have a parade in Cincinnati every year. It used to be the traditional opening day in baseball. It was always in Cincinnati. And the Reds certainly have fallen on hard times, and we'll see if they can get it around. Because you want to talk about a true baseball town?
Yeah,
Cincinnati is indeed a true baseball town, although that truth is being tested over the last few seasons. All right, let's get to what's trending. And the Cavs are trending maybe in a good way. I mean, they did win the game, 197 over the Pacers to even the series at 1 game apiece, but they needed 46 from LeBron to get to 100 to hold off a very hard-charging Pacers team in the second half.
Cavaliers outscored the Pacers 33-18 in the first quarter. LeBron had 20 points. So LeBron outscored the Pacers. He had the first 13 points of the game for both teams. It's incredible what he did, and all that said, with 20-some seconds ago, Victor Oladipo had a 3 in the air to tie the game. Yep. And they end up losing by 3, a late 3 that really was meaningless, but they with a little bit of time to go, they did have a chance to tie this game. So even as a Cavs fan, and I think they can win this series because they have LeBron, overall, the way the Pacers are playing, and Oladipo got an early foul trouble because he was a monster late in that game. He finds his way to the hoop, and he went by LeBron on one panel. LeBron was guarding him, went by him for a layup. It was really an impressive move by Victor Oladipo, again, who had 22 but was in foul trouble early in this game. Pacers have to feel pretty good about themselves. They got the split, and that's what any road team wants to do in their 2 games before they come home, is split, and they got that. But even though they lost yesterday by 3 last night, they should still feel pretty good about what went on.
Mike, I'm with you. I mean, I think I feel worse if I'm the Cavs about the win than I do the Pacers about the loss because, again, they were up huge. Just bury them. Stay on them. But no one else could back up LeBron in that game. Again, he had 46. Next highest score was Kevin Love with 15. After that, it was Kyle Korver. But none of the new Cavs really stepped up. George Hill was in foul trouble. He only had 6. Larry Nance Jr. had 2. Clarkson had 2.
Yeah.
Rodney Hood had 5. Those guys, if they're going to go anywhere in the East, these guys have to be a bigger part of the equation.
And by the way, Love got hurt with about a little over 3 minutes to go in the game. Ball hit him in the thumb, bent it back on the hand that he'd broken on the left hand. So he had the thumb x-rayed. It was negative. Ty Lue said he will be playing, but man, that's a guy. LeBron can't afford to lose that one. They need more to step up, but Kevin Love's been the most consistent one for him.
The only weird thing for the Cavs, if you're feeling good about the first 2 games, their defense was so bad in the regular season, and they've held the Pacers to under 100 in each of the first 2
times,
games. Yeah. Well, speaking of former Pacers, playoff P is gone, or it was gone last night, Paul George, as the Jazz beat the Thunder 102-95 to even this series at 1 game apiece. And maybe the Rookie of the Year, Donovan Mitchell, has been phenomenal so far.
Absolute monster. Now, the shooting percentage wasn't very good, 10-25, 0-7 from three-point land, but he had 28 points in this game. Rubio had 22 and Favors had 20, but I think it was more the other side of the big 3 for Oklahoma City. In game 1, Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo had 80. Game 2, they had 54 points yesterday and were 0 for 14 from the field in the fourth quarter, scoring just 2 points overall, while Mitchell was fantastic. So Utah, a lot of people said before that as the playoffs started, Utah could make some noise. We'll see. Because Oklahoma City was that team, everyone's like, oh, do you want to play them with Russ, what he's done, and Paul George? But they couldn't shoot at all in that fourth quarter last night.
By the way, this is really interesting. Royce Young, who covers the Thunder for us, put this up on his Twitter page. Paul George was asked if there was any pressure with the playoff P hype. He named himself.
Yeah.
And he said, there's no stress. It's not like it's a name I'm trying to live up to. And Melo jumps in. Can't give it back now.
That's right. Can't do it.
Own it. Take it.
Exactly right.
Keep it. Melo making sure playoff P is kept straight in that situation. Meanwhile, a win for anybody that gets up early for their job, Mike. There will be earlier start times for NFL games on Monday, Thursday, and Sunday nights. Monday Night Football moving up from 8:30 to 8:15. Thursday night, 8:25 to 8:20. And Sunday night from 8:30 to 8:20 as well.
I'll take 5 minutes to 15 minutes without question. If you're getting up early, I will take that. To me, that's the best part of it. Now, you again will break down all the schedules tonight on the special. And with the schedule, from a player standpoint, the first thing we would look at is when's the bye.
Yep.
Then it's where you're traveling, how far are you traveling, and who are you playing. And I don't mean team-wise, I mean individual-wise.
Right.
Okay, we're playing this team. For me, it was, okay, I know they have this all-pro guard who I may have to play against, or the center. You look at those individual matchups. And then what I always look at is, where do you see the matchups of coming back to play for a team that you used to be on? Because a lot of times, whether it was a mutual breakup, and most times it's not, when you go back to play that team, you always want to give something a little extra. You got Richard Sherman with the 49ers facing the Seahawks twice. You got Case Keenum quarterbacking the Broncos. Well, they play the Texans. You have Sam Bradford now at the Cardinals, face 2 of his old teams, the Rams and the Vikings. For the Titans, you have Deion Lewis and Malcolm Butler.
Nice.
They're playing the Patriots this year. And then Jimmy Graham, the Packers tight end now, they play the Seattle Seahawks. So you're always looking to give that little extra, like, you know what, maybe I should still be on your team, and you gave up on me.
Did you ever look at how many primetime games you had? Like, are we on
no, never
on Monday night?
Because quite honestly, Monday night games, I got tired of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like late games. I didn't like night games,
and when you played, it was a 9 o'clock start.
It was a 9 o'clock start. I didn't like it. I hated sitting around all day and waiting. I wanted 1 o'clock game. You got to be there by 11. I got there at 11. I wanted to get ready. I wanted to play and get it out of the way. I hated sitting around all day. So while Monday night is cool, you're the only show in town, and Monday Night Football, I get it. But, you know, after a little bit, it's like, oh, my God, I hate sitting around all day.
Well, did you have because everyone's a creature of habit.
Yes.
Right? You know what your situation is for a 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock kick, depending on where you are, and then the 4 o'clock start. Did you have a pregame meal for the Monday night game with the 9 o'clock start where you had to sort of backtrack it to make sure?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you still had that. You got up, you stayed in the hotel, even at home. Even if you were at home, you would stay in a hotel, get up and you'd have a breakfast, but then you could go home for a while. I mean, for a 1 o'clock game, I would get up, eat breakfast at the hotel. Sometimes I'd stop home just for a little bit and then go. Now you can go home for a decent amount of time unless the team's going to keep you there to do some walkthrough things. To me, I mean, but guys get used to it, but it's not like you play a lot of Monday night games, so you get thrown off of your schedule for a little bit, and then certainly with a Monday game or a Sunday game and then you play a Thursday game, it can do that as well. Yeah, guys have routines, and Monday, waiting all day. I hated it because what do? It's like you want to stay off your feet, but then you stay off your feet, you get tired.
Right.
When you want to get move around, you're like, oh, no, I'll wear out my legs. I need them for the game. It's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. It becomes, quite honestly, a bit of a mental game for you.
Absolutely, and you find the way to keep it sharp. And again, we'll break down all the games. By the way, there's a Monday night game that's going to be in Mexico City this year. The Rams taking on the Chiefs, which is the Marcus Peters Bowls, which should be interesting very well as he goes up against his old team. Is this really happening? This is what it's become? Really? Okay, apparently Bubba needs entrance music. Walk-up music for Love It or Shove It.
Right. Time for a little Love It or Shove It. You ready?
Everything has nuance. Nothing happens in black and white. See, Bubba's going to hate me again, but I think there's nuance here. You guys have to embrace the nuance in life. Wait, hold on. There's 2 questions there. Life is not black and white. It's mostly gray.
Just answer the question.
No, well, which one do you want me to answer?
Shoving.
No, you're loving that. You're loving the statement.
You love it or shove it. It's a statement, and then you love it or shove it. This is the first time playing.
No, it's not, and it should probably be the last time playing.
Bubba waited till that started to play before he walked in.
Yeah. This is Jonas Cespedes walk-up music. All right.
Yeah, we share it together.
Yeah. You got you and that?
Did you have to get it okayed?
Yeah, no, he said it was fine. Yeah, he was cool.
He did.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, grand slam last night. No big deal.
How happy are you, by the way, about your Mets? Right
now?
Yeah, first place. No big deal.
Well, it kind of is at this point, right?
Yeah,
at any point for the Mets over the last
few years.
They're doing
great. Yeah,
they're doing well right now.
No, it's
pitching.
Pitching's great.
Yeah.
Everything's great. Cespedes struggling a little bit, but like I said, grand slam last night. Best record in the National League. Watch out. Watch out, American League. Am I right?
Undefeated on the road.
Yeah, no, they love the road and home. They just love it. They just love life.
And you know what you love?
Granger.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because Love It or Shove It is brought to you by Granger, the ones that get it done. Here we go. Love It or Shove It. All right. Let's go, Bubba. Come on.
All right. Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and Bill Belichick will all be with the Patriots for the 2018 NFL season. Love it or shove it.
Love it. Let's be done with this. They're all going to be in their respective positions when the season starts. Bill will be coaching the team. Tom will be leading the team and throwing passes to Rob Gronkowski. Put it in stone, put it in pen, put it in ink, put it in anything, put it in Sharpie. It's going to happen.
Number 2 pencil?
Well, you can erase that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, there's also invisible ink. You could do that.
All right, now you're above my pay.
Okay. I will also love it. I think if there's any reason it won't be loved, it will be because of Stanley was very happy again. It will be because of Gronk. I think the real outlier here might be Gronk. But I do think that eventually Brady will say, dude, if I'm coming back, you're coming back. And I think that even though there's trepidation and neither one of them are participating in off-season workouts, which are voluntary, although Tom is almost always there.
Agreed.
I think they will find a way to all be there this year, so I will love it.
Saquon Barkley should want to avoid Cleveland. Love it or shove it.
I would shove that. I'm not a big fan of that. I get it if you have the power, and you can pull it off. John Elway did it. Eli Manning did it.
But it doesn't sound like this is what he wants.
No. I agree. And overall, I just don't like that. I don't like trying to position and pick where you go. So I shove this as a general question, let alone specifically with Saquon Barkley. And you're right. We never heard it from him or his family. And we heard that the supposedly Rock Nation, but they have basically said, no. It's a false report. We didn't say anything. So I shove this and I shove the general question of this, and I certainly shove this.
Yeah, Rock Nation, there was a story out there that Rock Nation did want him to go there and pull at Eli, basically is what they said. But then Rock Nation said, no, that's not true. And Mary Kay Cabot, who does a great job covering the Cleveland Browns, said, well, Rock Nation also represents the Browns head coach, Hugh Jackson. So I will shove that as well. Plus, I think this is a different Cleveland. I could be totally wrong, but I think they are more of a legitimate franchise going into this 2018 season than they have been in maybe in the last 10 years. So I will shove that one.
James Harden's amazing defense atone for his 2 for 18 shooting night. Love it or shove it?
Whoa.
Come on.
Whoa.
Amazing.
Let's pull the reins. Because you use the word amazing, I'm going to shove it, because amazing and defense for Houston have never, while they played better, they played better defense this year. I get it. But you put the word amazing in.
Amazing happens to be in quotation marks.
It's in the headline on the ESPN.com article.
Okay.
That's why he's going there.
All right. So I will shove it just for that reason alone.
Yeah, I'm completely shoving this. I mean, I get it. He had 3 steals and 3 blocks. It was the first time he had 3 steals and 3 blocks in his career. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
James Harden is not being paid for 3 blocks and 3 steals. James Harden is being played for the gather dribble, the step back, which isn't a walk to some people because of the way the gather dribble is used.
Right.
He's paid to not go 2 of 18 shooting. Okay, so that's what he's paid for. So I'm shoving it because I don't believe his defense was amazing. I think it was good. And I also think that he's got to be better than 2 of 18 shooting. So complete shovage.
Cool. Joel Embiid will not play in this year's NBA playoffs. Love it or shove it?
Wait, none of the playoffs?
Correct.
Oh, I shove that.
Shove.
I shove it.
Shove.
I think
shove.
He's doubtful for tonight. If he doesn't play tonight, especially if they lose, they're probably playing game 4. Even if they win, I mean, he's close to coming back. They definitely will have at least 2 more games.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. No. It's 1-1. So
1-1.
at least 3 more games.
Right.
So yeah, I absolutely shove that. He will absolutely be back.
Yeah. If it was, he won't play in this series, maybe I could go there. But again, my point is he's got at least 3 more games. So if he's close to coming back, and he might play tonight, they say he's doubtful right now. Right. And if they lose, I'm pretty sure he's going to be all in for game 4. So I'm going to shove that big time.
I feel like it was just about 45 minutes ago you engaged with Stugotz on this very same question. You were a little dismissive here.
Dismissive in what sense?
You know, like the question was stupid.
Oh, I think
when Stugotz was on, hey, we're both talent. So
I think it's a bad question.
Treat me the same as Stugotz.
I think it's a bad question.
Oh, I don't think anybody wants that.
No, you don't want to be treated like Stugotz.
You don't want that. Bubba, go.
Stupid
Moving
question.
on.
The Red Sox are the best team in Major League Baseball. Love it or shove it. Brett.
I'm going to love it. As Trey always says, you are what your record says you are.
Bang! That's a Bill Parcells-ism. I'm not claiming that. I'm saying I say that because Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are.
They were a 93-win team last year, and they added J.D. Martinez, who was maybe the best player in baseball over the last 2 months, so why not?
Wrong answer. It's the Mets. Nice try, Brett.
Listen, with respect to your Mets, and I think my Indians are the best team in all of baseball, I love this one. The Red Sox are. Their pitching's fantastic. They're plus 60 in run differential. It's ridiculous how they're hammering teams. So, yeah, I love that. They're the best team in baseball now.
I don't think it's even a question at this point.
I agree. Yeah.
It's love it.
Yeah.
It's love it. No, the Red Sox are by far the best team in baseball. They're 15-2. No one else is even close. I mean, the Mets are 13-4.
Wow, yeah, that's so far behind.
Well, it's 882 winning percentage to 765. You can't add, right?
No one's even close.
882.
They have 2 more wins.
Yeah, but the winning percentage is 12 points higher. 12 points higher. That's significant.
I'd like you to retract.
Sample.
No one's even close.
No, I think that right now the Red Sox are by far the best team in baseball. By far. They've done what haven't they done? Beat
the Mets.
Here's the one thing they did. They did something in game 1.
They haven't been undefeated on the road.
They didn't do one thing last year. They gave up a 4-run lead game 1, and it hurt them so much that they've gone 14-1 since.
Yeah, great.
I think you lose this one, Bubba.
Yeah. Oh, they lost on the road. It's embarrassing.
It happens.
Not to the Mets.
So in other words,
I wouldn't even know what that's like.
So the Mets are more comfortable losing at home then. Just checking.
The Mets are just more comfortable.
Sure.
Cespedes.
Whatever you need to tell yourself.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights are having the best first year for an expansion team in any sport. Love it or shove it.
We need Brett for statistical reference here, right? If we're cross-pollinating sports.
What do we got, Brett?
Have to love it, right?
Brett, what do you got?
We're going to get to the Golden Knights later, so I'm going to abstain.
Okay, all right. In other words, I got to do some research.
Yeah, I absolutely love this. I love what they're doing. It's fantastic. It's obviously it's great for hockey. I love again that they're in Vegas, pro teams in Vegas. They're with the same odds now as Predators to win the Stanley Cup. I don't know where the hell Pittsburgh is in all of that.
Yeah.
But yes, I absolutely love this one.
Look, I think everything about the Golden Knights story has been amazing. So I absolutely think they're having the best year for any expansion team in sport. Now, look, I get it. The Blues, when they expanded, the NHL expanded, made it to the conference finals, I think, 2 years in a row, including their first year. But that was all 6 teams in that division or that conference were all expansion teams.
Someone was getting there.
Someone was getting there, absolutely. Right. So this, I think, is an amazing thing. Plus, it was the experiment of having a pro team in Las Vegas, a big-time pro team. I mean, there's been minor league teams, arena football teams, minor league baseball teams, all that kind of stuff. A big-time major pro sports franchise in Vegas, and it has been a resounding success, which means the distractions have been at a minimum for the home games for the home team, which has been really, really solid. I absolutely am all, no matter what happens going forward, you have to look at this season as an amazing success and the best ever for an expansion team in any sport.
There you go.
All right. And also, keep me up to date on the Pinehurst trip, because I assume all talent's going, right? So,
yeah, we'll get back to you.
Just let me know when, where, and I'll
leave your number with Stanzik. And,
okay, no.
Tell you what,
I mean, if talent's going, I assume
we'll get back to you on that.
I assume
we have a limited expense that we have to work with, so we'll say good job.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
See you in Pinehurst.
Why don't you go ahead do your read?
Yeah.
Hey everyone, Mike Golic here. Support for the Golic Wingo podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you're confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you that same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Mikes. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS, consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Decking, railing, lighting, furniture, fencing, framing. At Trex, we make the most in outdoor living because you deserve to get more from your life outdoors. So why not start bringing your ideas to life now with the brand that's engineering what's next? To learn more about all of the outdoor solutions Trex has to offer, or to find a local retailer or a certified Trex Pro deck builder near you, visit Trex.com. That's TREX.com.
Glad you're with us this morning. Hope your weather is beautiful, sunny, and warm. 3 things that we cannot say here.
Ours stinks.
It's
again. You cursed it.
It is all my fault. For those that don't know, 2 weeks ago, we got up to 60 degrees.
We did.
Said, it's over.
And you almost said today, because it looks good going forward, but nobody's saying a word, you almost blurted it out.
I almost did it again, and I've paid my price. I've learned my lesson. So I'm expecting 17 more storms. And that's the way we're going to do it.
Yeah.
All right. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, including our next guest. Yes, you know him and love him from his college game day experience and, of course, calling college football games in the national championship game and the playoffs. You all know that, but Kirk Herbstreit now is going to be part of the NFL Draft Experience, and he joins us in the zone, brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. So, Herbie, the first question's got to be, how in the zone are you for your first ever draft experience, which can be a little overwhelming with all the things that are coming at you?
Oh man, I'm fired up. It was fun to go to Baltimore with you guys last week and kind of have a chance to listen to everybody kind of break it down. And I've been a fan of the draft for years, and to be a part of it's going to be a lot of fun. And it'd be interesting. My take is a little bit more of the college experience. You know, we had to do a 2-hour game day prior to the draft outside of the stadium. I think Corso is going to don a headgear of some sort. I have no idea who he's going to put on. I don't know if it's Roger Goodell or a player. I don't know what he's doing, but so we'll have a kind of a traditional game day outside in the crowd, and then come inside to join you guys. And so I'm fired up, man. It's going to be a great time, and a lot of these guys I've had a chance to get to know and watch them grow from their freshman year all the way up to now having a chance to live out a dream and walk across that stage. So to be there firsthand and be a part of it is very cool.
Herbie, not that you need any advice on this at all, but Trey's been doing it for a while, and I did the draft for a few years as well, and I found that if ever there's a question or you're not sure which direction it's going, just look over and say, metal.
That's exactly right.
I've been practicing that, actually. Yeah. I've been look at me, I look at Mel. Yeah. Boom, and away we go.
That's exactly right.
I know my marching orders, absolutely. I don't know how he does it. And we were in a meeting last week, and somebody, it might have been me, somebody challenged him on something, and he talks so fast, and Trey finally just was like, we're all listening to him. And Trey just was like, dude, my God, you're talking so fast. And you're like, the sad part is I've been around you so long, I actually understand you. That's the problem we have. So I'm hoping to kind of push his buttons and bring that side of him out a little bit.
Oh, you're right, though. I mean, literally, it was the first. I'm glad you brought that up. It was like the first 5 minutes of the meeting, he started going, and then because he started talking about Josh Allen and people on the Negas, and he got a little more amped up. Like, how could you do this about Josh Allen? You don't know what you're talking about. I mean, he was going 100 miles an hour. His face was almost purple. I'm like, Mel, take a breath. We need you for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of next week.
Exactly. My goal is 3 or 4 of those within the 5 or 6 hours that we're on. If I can get 3 or 4 of those out of him, then I think it's a win. That's the over-under for me.
So looking at this draft, Herbie, obviously it's a quarterback-heavy draft. And what I want from you is the comparison now of you break these guys down when they're playing college, but you also watch the pro game, and it seems that the gap is closed on what they're doing in college to what they're asked to do in the NFL. If more NFL teams are incorporating their college way they play into the NFL. Do you see that as well, and how much does that help some of these quarterbacks from college to the pro transition?
Yeah, I mean, 5-7 years ago, I think the most people viewed this quarterback position as a head-scratcher because the NFL is running NFL systems, and they're inheriting these spread quarterbacks that have a very hard time adjusting to the NFL game. So I think scouting them and evaluating them and trying to figure out how they fit was really, really tough. And I think finally the NFL just said, to heck with it. And I think the NFL game, more than ever before, is actually trending more to the college game and these college offenses. A great point about that is Lincoln Riley, who I talk to quite frequently just about offense. The guy's a genius, offensive mind, whether it's college or pro. And he said, in the past, I might have 1 or 2 teams that would come in and when they're evaluating our players and talk to me about my offense. And a lot of that time it was the Patriots. And he said now it's up in the upper 20s when teams come in, they want to pick his brain about offense. And so I think that tells you, because right now Oklahoma, you could make an argument, is setting the bar for offenses in college. It tells you a lot about how these NFL coaches, coordinators, head coaches, GMs are saying, hey, instead of trying to figure out Lamar Jackson, for example, or Baker Mayfield, whoever it is, let's try to get him to drop 7-step under center. How about we tweak our offense to his strengths? And I think that's what you saw great examples with Jared Goff from his rookie year to his second year with Sean McVay. I thought they did a great job of taking advantage of his skill set. Of course, with Todd Gurley in the backfield helped, but I thought he looked like a different guy this year. Nick Foles, when he got put in, everyone was like, well, Eagles season's over. What an incredible job that they did in adjusting their offense to his skill set. So I think it's a great move. I think it's smart because the college game is not changing. So I think the NFL is realizing they've got to tweak some things and become less traditional, less, dropping 5, 7 steps from under center. And I think it's working out, and it makes this draft with these 4 or 5 guys really interesting.
It certainly does, and that goes to what Herm Edwards has always said. Any plan that can't be changed is a bad plan, and you have to be able to manage what your talent is and try and get the most out of it. Kirk Herbstreit with us, our ESPN college football analyst, who will be a big part of the draft with us Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of next week. Herbie, I know that you're big on Baker Mayfield. You loved his competitive juices. You love the way he attacks. But he had there was an article in the Monday Morning Quarterback that came out this week on Sports Illustrated where he admitted that when he had a meeting with the Chargers, he didn't study the playbook as much as he had said. And then he said, I've got a lot on my plate. I have to prioritize which playbooks I'm going through. What do you make of that answer?
Probably not the best answer. Yeah. Then I think he even said no offense to them. There was another comment. It's one of those things where and I don't even know who his agent is, but I'm sure because of some of the off-the-field issues, part of his maturity and development when they sit down with him and talk about, making that next step to the NFL, they probably talk as much about that. In fact, I think I saw Chad Pennington working with him, in that regard, getting ready for the combine. I've fallen in love with not just his competitive spirit, kind of that flamboyant style, that it factor that you like to see from quarterbacks, but I think people don't quite appreciate his ability to process information, recognize defenses, have incredible accuracy, whether it's mid-range throws or even especially downfield. He does everything that you want to see from a quarterback. what you have to come to grips with is, he's a guy that, if he gets in front of the media, there's 12 guys badgering him. He's one of these guys that you can light a fuse. Let's say he throws a pick to cost the team a game. Where he's going to have to work on his game is standing there and taking it and not fighting back. Not, what do you mean by that? And having these moments where he says what he actually thinks. You need a little bit of Bull Durham when it comes to playing that position in my mind. And I'm all about, saying what you think at times, but I thought that came off, especially with his reputation for some people. I thought it came off, not in his best interest, especially a week away from the draft.
I agree 1,000% with what you said. Hey, correlated to the NFL and standing in front of the media. I just didn't get when you said I have a lot on my plate. What do you have on your plate? Your plate right now is auditioning and interviewing. It's a job team, interview. So
my guess on that, Mike. The only thing I can think of, because I've been thinking about that, is, first of all, what if the Chargers with Phillip Rivers aging? What if they, for whatever reason, decide to move up?
Yep. There you go. Exactly.
I think you can never underestimate any experience, any team that's talking to you, any team that takes the time to talk to you has got to be a priority. I think what he meant is, the Jets or the Giants or the Browns or all these teams that are maybe up there, he's thinking that I'm trying to do the best I can to let those guys know that I'm consuming everything that they're giving me. I'm guessing. I haven't spoken to him. I'm guessing maybe that's what he meant. But you got to realize, I don't care who's talking to you. There's a very good chance that if you impress them, they're going to say, man, we got to go get this guy, and they can move up and get him. So definitely a mistake and something I'm sure he wishes he wouldn't have said.
As you're on the road and calling games and talking to tons of players through the season, how much is brought up of players and going to the NFL or looking forward to the NFL, or is it just really, do they really stick about the game that you're going to do and talk about, or are they looking ahead to their next chapter?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think the great teams have players that are single-minded focus on winning. And coaches, the teams that consistently win, whether it's Alabama, Ohio State, I think you can throw Georgia now with what Kirby Smart's doing, Clemson. I think they do a really good job of finding guys that everybody has a dream when they're middle school, high school, and they're clearly superior to their peer group. Man, one day, my dream's I'm going to the NFL. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of guys that they don't even care where they go to school. It's 3-year pit stop on their way to the NFL, and they'll never come back to that school. That's just a reality. There's that guy that's out there. But I think the teams that become perennial powers are the teams that find individual players that, sure, man, we want you to have those dreams. Shoot for the stars. But by the way, while you're here, we're going to put that on the back burner, and we're going to go win the Big Ten, or we're going to go win the SEC. That's the priority when you're here. And if you can't buy into that, you need to go somewhere else. So I think it's a little bit of a mixed bag, Mike. I think the teams that win have players that really do a great job of trying to put everything they have into that experience. Roquan Smith's a great example. He just came to my mind at Georgia. I'm in love with this kid's game and the personality. And when you sit down with him in a production meeting, I mean, when you get done talking to him, you just want to hug him and just say, I wish every player in the game were like you. I mean, he is just all about winning. And his game is off the charts. And yet he's not peeking ahead. He's focused on, man, I got to stop Baker Mayfield. They win that game. Man, we got to knock off Alabama. We got to win the national championship. And I'm the guy. I'm the alpha. I'm the leader. And so I think it's a mixed bag, but I think you would find most players at the real high level have been focused on just trying to be the best team they can be and best player they can be at the college level.
Boy, Roquan, outside of the first half against Oklahoma, might have been the best player
Tackling
in the entire college playoff, the second half of the Rose Bowl, and also in the national championship game. Herbie, we appreciate the time. We're looking forward to it next week, and I know the draft and what's coming ahead will ease your pain of the start of the Reds, who fired their manager this morning.
Oh, man, they fired their manager today, Brian Price. Only 2 weeks too late. So.
See, that's what we need on the draft, right there. That's what we need Thursday night. Herbie, look forward to it. See you in Dallas, my friend.
See you down there.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like a whole new person. Disclaimer, you will not become a whole new person. This is impossible. You might be able to join a gym or diet program, buy a new wardrobe, get hair implants, but your DNA and physical form will remain the same. Geico waives any and all liability if you attempt to become a new person, except a cyborg. If you choose to become a half-human, half-cybernetic organism with lasers for eyes, the Geico legal team would be cool with that, because, quote, laser eyes are pretty sweet. Pew, 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 end quote.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Brett believes that Bob Dylan is overrated. Brett, is that true?
I don't think he's overrated. I think he's bad.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a hot take from you.
He is not aesthetically pleasing to listen to.
If you're basing Bob Dylan's work on aesthetics, then you don't understand Bob Dylan at all.
His lyrics are nice, but it's music, ultimately, and I don't like listening to it.
Brett, the times, they are changing, just so you know.
And
get on with it.
You're fired. I feel bad for firing him.
Yet somehow he's still
basically
here.
Because I have no power to do that.
Feel you.
Golic and Wingo, presented by Progressive's Home Insurance. Get your quote at Progressive.com today.
All right, we continue on Golic and Wingo, ESPN Radio and ESPN News. We're kind of all in on the Las Vegas Golden Knights because we like the story.
Right.
There was no chance they make the playoffs. They made the playoffs, one of the best records in the regular season. Oh, they'll flame out in the playoffs. They swept their first-round opponent. Now they go up against San Jose.
Right.
And the odds makers, ironically also from Vegas, have listed them as co-favorites with the Preds to win it all. The Penguins are like, hello, two-time defending champs, hello.
Where are we?
Still here. However, we admit that we're not as a deep dive in on the Golden Knights as we probably should be.
Right.
So researcher Brett is now here to help us.
Yeah, we're going to play a quick game. We're going to call it Golden Knight or Actual Night.
Okay, and to be clear, we could easily just call up the Golden Knights roster on the computer and look. We're not doing that.
So it's either somebody from the Golden Knights roster or an actual knight?
Or somebody who has been knighted or a knight.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so our first night. Sir Gunnar Vennerberg.
Sir Gunnar Vennerberg.
I'm calling all these guys Sir.
Sir, I got you. Yeah. I want to say it sounds close enough to be a hockey player.
I'm going to say it's an actual knight.
I'm going to say actual knight as well.
That's an actual knight.
Yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Yes! One for one.
He was knighted in Sweden. He was the Minister of Ecclesiastic Affairs in the 1800s.
Well, if you're going to be the Minister of something, ecclesiastical affairs is the thing you want to be.
Absolutely.
Here we go.
Our next night. Sir Jonathan Merrill.
Merrill.
Well, I'm probably going to get this one wrong, but I think I'm going Las Vegas Golden Knight.
I think real night and then Las Vegas night. So I'm saying hockey player.
He's a hockey player.
Yes! 2 for 2. Woo! Yes, 2 for 2 on night or night.
Our next night. Sir Pierre Terrell.
Terrell?
Pierre Terrell. Now, what he's done now is what he did with the first one. That sounds like a hockey name, which makes me think that I maybe it's one of those things where it's like the scene in Princess Bride where you think that, wouldn't you? It's inconceivable that I could get this wrong, but I think I'm going actual night.
I want to disagree with you, but I actually think you're correct. I think it's an actual night again.
He's the most famous French knight of the Middle Ages.
Yes! Yes! 3 for 3. 3 for 3.
Hey, we get the horn.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Our next night. Sir Christian Lundberg.
Lundberg.
Okay, see, now he's already given us
how
a
he tried
Swede
to
that's
say
a
it?
night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think this one is I think this one's a Las Vegas Golden Knight. He can't double down on 2 fake Swiss Knights.
Lundberg?
Yeah.
Lundberg. Is that how you're pronouncing it?
Yep.
I'm going to say he's not going to go one then the other, so I'll say a real knight.
He's a real knight.
Oh!
You take the lead.
Yes!
You take the lead.
Yes!
Our next night.
Yes!
Yes.
Yeah! Okay, I'm sorry.
Well done.
Yeah.
Sir William Carrier.
Carrier.
Sir William Carrier.
There's no way that's a real knight. That's got to be a golden knight.
Now we're going to go. We're both going to go Golden Knight on that one.
Yeah.
He's a forward for the Golden Knights.
Yes! Yes! Well done.
I got them all right.
We got time for one more?
One more.
Sneaking in on the wire.
Sir Sorry. I stepped on the horns. Sir Alexander Nevsky.
Nevsky.
Alexander Nevsky? I'm going. I don't even care if I'm wrong. I got to go Golden Knight. Las Vegas Golden
Just
Knight.
for fun, I'll go opposite. Say a real knight.
He was a Russian military leader in the 13th century.
at the anti-platinum sombrero. You went 5 for 5. Unbelievable.
Golic gets it.
And on that, you got to go. I'll be here tomorrow with Chris Canty. Enjoy your Friday off. Yea, verily, you are knighted in your knowledge of knights, my friend. Sir Golic of Pastry.